So some unexpected news on Thursday, which was yesterday, the Solana ETF. I planned to do nothing yesterday. I had a nice day. It was quiet, and all of a sudden I came back to my phone and hello. So we do need to talk about the political landscape. We do need to talk about Solana itself in terms of the ETF and what the thumbnail and title is of this video, because there's a lot of bullish claims regarding this. I also have some altcoin news to get through, which isn't too bad, to be fair, for once. But before we start, please do, if you like these sort of stuff, slap a like on the video and comment what you think about the Solana ETF and if we're going to get more. So here we are. Hello. Welcome to the world of crypto where nothing happens and everything happens at once, right? Where we have, according to Van Heck's Digital Asset Research, they are the first company in the US to file for a spot Solana ETF. Why not? Makes sense. Ethereum's coming. Bitcoin's already happened. Solana's the next logical one. Then you've got other situations where we could find more and more coming. We'll talk about that in a bit, so don't just jump the gun. However, it will depend on a couple of things, in my opinion anyways, regarding this, especially the political landscape. So the main crux of said video is all about the price analysis. Oh, price predictions. Now, GSR, who is essentially a market maker, has talked about this quite openly on Twitter and stuff like that, regarding a base case scenario, a bull case scenario, whatever, blue sky breakouts, right? Could go 9, 10x potentially. And I think it's totally possible too. Like, I really do. I've often criticized Solana in terms of when it started out and the issues it had. But let me just show you this tweet. Yeah. Oops. Never mind. But yeah, I was planning to buy it. I got shaken out just due to the fact of the FTX debacle. I didn't think it would go as low as it did. It did. It went down 97, 98%, which is a hell of a drop down, by the way. In terms of the use case and utility it had at the time, that was huge. That was massive. But I do have a play that I want to get more Solana anyways, regardless, through a couple of meme coins that I've got my eye on. Patreon, no, but I'm not going to reveal anything in here because people tend to cry when I talk about stuff like that. However, this, as I say, logical situation, although we have got some hurdles to get over, so to speak, but that was quite easy, wasn't it, when you thought about it with Ethereum? But this is kind of the timeline of event of like how it's kind of absolutely went crazy. Obviously, yeah, the FTX selling, it started to change and then started to just ramp up and up and up. And, you know, we talk about Jupiter in terms of how well that's done. Obviously, the Phantom wallet is fantastically good. FTX sold the last of its soul not too long ago. All looking pretty tickety-boo. By the way, if you've not used Phantom Wallet, check it out. By far one of the best wallets you'll ever use. Really, really good. And that's the sort of thing, like, they've mastered the adoption race, essentially. Now, we often talk about we're in this little bubble in crypto. Like, oh, but it's hard, isn't it? Yeah, try explaining to your granny how to do it. But I think with like Phantom, it's a lot easier. It's a lot better and a much easier hurdle to overcome, unlike other projects that are quite hard. But let's talk about political bollocks at the minute. There was a debate yesterday. Biden looked like he was ready for the care home. Donald Trump looked like he was ready to start a fight. Looked interesting, it really did. But political landscape, I think it's going to be very, very important for the future. Under the current administration, yes, we've got, you know, Ethereum ETF approved as well. Bitcoin ETFs, yeah, cool. Maybe the next, obviously, yes, by the sounds of it, probably next. But this is the interesting part. Obviously, if Donald Trump wins, whether he wins or not, who knows, I think, yes, personally, positive market moves, financial markets. But one thing that's going to be very, very interesting here is this. The odds of the Solana ETF could well be in the next 12 months are tied to the odds of a change in the landscape due to, obviously, the presidential election in the US. Now, that being said, Donald Trump has been very, very pro-crypto. He's trying to rally a lot of troops in terms of the crypto market, a lot of cryptocurrency donations, doing very, very well. That could change the whole game massively. We could realistically accelerate more ETFs. We could accelerate index crypto funds and leverage ones and margin ones, whatever. There's going to be all kinds of different products. Probably quicker than we think as well, which is very, very surprising. So, other news, not that people really care too much about this, but it is kind of a good starting point. Bolivia, finally, since, nearly 10 years now, have had a ban on Bitcoin. They have changed their stance on this, which is relatively big in a way, but as I say, not many people are that interested because it's only Bolivia. No offense to anyone who's watching my channel from Bolivia, but I imagine no one. But it's kind of the change of the guard a little bit. And we talk about, like, I mentioned it on my Learning Crypto live stream this morning about 2 years ago when you talk about America and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it was a very, very different thing. Now look at it, it's very, very, very different. So yes, more countries are starting to take note of certain things and using it. Whether they're seizing it and gaining it and keeping it, whatever, or ultimately allowing people to use it and spend it, and why not? It makes sense. And the final bit of news I want to talk about is kind of the obvious, and it's a bit of a trend what I've been talking about recently, is the fact that there's a lot of major cryptocurrency projects that are going to be doing a little bit of an emission dump, essentially, because there will be vesting periods and they're going to continue. That's the worst thing about altcoins right now is there's too many, then the vesting periods are shit, and ultimately people are getting absolutely melted on, which is a problem. So you can see here 755 million will be unlocked as vesting periods over 40 projects come to an end. However, there'll be some that will run way beyond that, by the way. Have a little look on Token Unlocks, the website. It's pretty good. But ultimately, this is kind of how most things look. Just a slow, horrible bleed. But it's one of those. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place because, yes, you can get some good orders. Yes, there's been dilution. And this is the thing, right? And I often get this in the comments. Like, everyone looks at the price. The last thing you want to look at with, like, especially cryptocurrency is the price sometimes. Because you'll get something that's got a lot of hype, a lot of technology, a lot of good stuff, but the price is doing shit. When the emissions stop, it will settle down more, and you may well find that positive news may well make it react a bit more. But, you know, spade's a spade, mud on mud, it sticks eventually, and people get a little bit drawn down by the fact that, well, there's emissions, well, the price is down 70, 80, 90%. There's a lot of people, especially who speculate on price, will only go for the top projects, right? You will find something that's very much undervalued due to the fact of this situation. So let's do some technical analysis. Before I start this, before I lose you, if anything that I say goes well and truly over your head, go to Learning Crypto. There's a lot of free content now that will help you out. Also, Patreon. You can join for a $5. It's cheap, but you will start to understand my methodology and how I look at the charts a lot more with my extra videos. So try not to get too caught out by it. Solana doesn't look good, right? Realistically, in terms of structure points, it doesn't look good, right? Why? We've obviously bounced off this level. We've had a huge drop, this big, massive correction where we've formed lower lows and lower highs, all the way here. Right now, in my opinion, this is now a level of resistance, and I firmly believe, I'm not going to go to like 100%, but the structure is more likely we're going to go and retest this area than blast through here. If we go above this and correct and use this level of support, that's your entry. If we don't, you don't want to be doing it. You want to wait and go lower, right? Probability. You do not buy at resistance. You do not sell at supports. You wait for them to flip over. It's kind of simple, but people don't fucking get it. I think we're going to go lower, personally. I just think the attitude in the market, the sentiment in the market is not quite bullish enough yet. There's bullish news, but also, I'm going to hold my hands up here, a lot of people are interested in Bitcoin more than anything at the minute right now, right? It's just the way it is, the way the cookie crumbles. So when we talk about token emissions, and I mentioned in my video not too long ago, buying altcoins at this point is kind of a bit sketchy. It's like, we're in a downtrend. Yes, we are pulling back, and yeah, there could be a change of character coming up soon here, but it's not confirmed yet. So that's what we've got to be careful for. Even when we're looking at this, there's a hidden bearish divergence. By the way, this indicator, you can try it out for free. There's a link in Learning Crypto website. Check it out. That is a pro version. It's freaking fantastic. But that being said, it's not perfect. However, there is showing a hidden bearish divergence, which obviously, if you know what they look like, that's what it looks like. It's just telling you that it's coming on the daily time frame. So just be mindful. It might be a continuation of the downtrend. Let's look at Ethereum. Now, it looks like a dog's dinner. I am fully aware of that. This is a level of support. This is a potential level of more downside, but this doesn't look as bad at the minute. However, it has bounced off the EMA 21. It is showing signs of positivity. However, it's still very early. We've still got 2 and a bit days left for this weekly time frame. On the daily, though, it's not looking good because we're still below this EMA. We're not right. You know, this could just roll back into this region again. we have to be very, very careful. So again, when we talk about monthly timeframes and stuff like that, yeah, it looks great. But this could also pull back. If we're looking for the low to the high, this could go much, much lower. And with the ETF approval, potentially in the next couple of days or weeks or whatever is coming around, right, in terms of it going live, by the way, not so much approval, but going live, you may well find a bit of volatility in reaction. There's more chance of it going down than it absolutely going. Look what happened with Bitcoin, for example. You know, we're looking at the past here. The Bitcoin one did create a little bit of a dump. Moving on to Bitcoin, not a lot really has happened. It's a bit shit, really, the last few days. The less so, and that's probably the better, to be honest with you. This is the interesting point, right? With the debate yesterday, the futures of the S&P reacted pretty strong. And you can see that. The charts aren't looking too bad. Since yesterday, we have been going up. This is obviously the all-time high. Woohoo. Where could this go next? Well, that's the thing. This is showing a change of character. We've created a new level, a new support level has been found due to this. You know, we've had a B, C correction. When we pull back, we created a higher low, and then we continue going higher. We are probably going to go even higher soon. I'm probably going to go and retest that level up here. The problem we have is what other news is due to come out? Well, that's the thing. This will be probably in the next 8 hours, potentially. Who knows? Maybe it might be absolute car crashed. The highest close that we've had for a very, very long time ever in the S&P's history, right? However, further political bollocks might come out and may crash this, so we need to be careful. And the final thing we need to talk about realistically is when will the dollar turn around? So we're kind of in somewhat you could argue a range. We're pulling up, probably going to go higher. There's a lot of good news in Asia over the night, which has made this run higher. So often you find when this is going down, it's good for crypto. When it goes up, it's not good for crypto. Daily time frame looks even more, interesting, as you can see. But you can see how it's pulled back and it's creating these massive higher lows going through. It's getting weaker, don't get me wrong, but realistically, it needs to start dumping for things to move. Have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you enjoy. Go and touch some grass. The market's a bit slow and boring right now. And yeah, there is some positive news out there, but not a lot moving.